Hey, how's everyone doing? Chang'e here, and today I have a Mythic Immortal 5-stack rank gameplay featuring a global number 56 Ruby. So in for a ride, strap tight, and let's go! Team composition wise, we have a very beefy team fight composition comprising Hylos on the roam, Ruby on the experience lane, myself Lukas in the jungle, lots of frontline here, and good team fight mage on Odette as well as strong team fighting on the marksman Irithel. Enemy team does have a pretty strong early game as well. They have a Badang as well as the Granger, Badang on the roam, Granger on the jungle, and they have some strong split pushing on the Zilong. Good decent mid to late game, especially on the Chang'e, and good team fighting on the Miya. But as a whole, we are very strong in the early game as well, especially the Hylos with revitalized strategy, which I used to cheese out when Hylos was first released. And this is what our team is really going for here. Odette has cleared out the wave, immediately locks right in, gets the Badang immediately first blood, and we have a strong advantage right from the get-go. Ruby is much stronger than Zilong in the experience lane, especially from a laning perspective. Zilong is actually pretty weak in the laning phase, and actually Ruby loses a lot of 1v1s in the experience lane. But in this case, this is actually pretty decent for us. So you can see the amount of trading that's been going on. Zilong has actually not played this very well. In fact, taking too many fights. He tries to go for a cheese here, doesn't quite get it. Our team actually does lose out. Our marksman goes down. Great gank by the enemy jungler. I'm a little bit late here, not quite able to get anything, and I'm just trying to back out. So our team is actually in a bad position, and because of the excellent gank by the enemy team, kudos to them, they were able to get a kill. So that was very well played by the enemy team, kudos to them. As for myself on the jungler, sometimes things don't work out, don't fret, just go back to your normal routine, go back to farming, because that's what you need in order to stay relevant, especially on the jungler side. Fortunately for Lukas, he is more of a team fighter in nature, so he does have a little bit of leeway in the event that you don't have the best start. But at the same time, I know we were a little bit down, even though the gold wise is pretty similar. In fact, we're a little bit above and kills are even, but I don't want to take a fight which we don't win. Our team here actually goes forward and takes a lot more. Ruby does manage to take the team fight really well, led by the Hylos, and Badang is now unable to escape our team. We are just going to be able to pull up here. Hylos does strengthen the Granger quite severely, and Granger is very low, but unfortunately not quite enough to get in there. I don't have my resolve, I can't use my ultimate as well. And Ruby does get flipped, unfortunately takes too many tower shots, unfortunately. So we're not be able to survive here. Take a lot of damage from the Granger as well as the Chang'e, so we ended up trading in that sense. All in all, a pretty evenly matched first 3 minutes. We had quite a few good moments, but also excellent moments where the enemy team outplayed us. So we are just going to try and stabilize here and look for more. Hylos is going to do quite a lot of roaming, and Badang actually used the ultimate to the Hylos, which in my book is not great, because now Odette has the perfect opportunity to flicker in and out on 3 people. No one else can interrupt this ultimate, and our team does manage to come in and clean up. Odette does get the Granger, Hylos gets the last hit onto the Badang. So that was really clinical from our team. In fact, that's where we started snowballing, I would say, because we were pretty much even at that point. Hylos just stepped into the bush, and you can see the strength of the roamers in terms of team fighting. The roamers on our team, the Hylos, is much stronger than the Badang in terms of sustain, and he's able to just walk freely and check the bush for us and look for opportunities, and great fallout by our Odette just managing to get there. It looks like another team fight has been started. Hylos going in for it. I have just come back from farming, and this is perfect for me to come and get some kills. Our team just comes in to clean up, double kill on myself and double kill on the marksman, and a wipe out. And we also managed to wipe out on the Zilong in the experience lane. So this is pretty much an avalanche that can not be stopped if you play this right. So going into a little bit of macro as we approach the stage, the intention of your team composition is very important, especially in the 5v5 situation that we're playing. Here we're just gonna take more fights because we are very strong, and we're just gonna go for it. The intention of the fight is very important in terms of team composition as well as the play style. As I mentioned earlier, just assessing team composition from the drafting phase, we want to go for team fights. We are very strong at team fights. We are moderately strong in the mid to late game. And while we are not the strongest in early, we have a very strong roamer who can provide a good first hit advantage. And so we're going to go for advantage whenever we can. So that has been the approach that we've been taking. And we have strong frontliners just absorbing damage. You can see the enemy team jungler has been really fed up and tries to join in with the experienced lane to end this Ruby. So Ruby does manage to get a kill onto Zilong. In a 1v2 situation, 1-for-1 trade is awesome because there's so much attention taken away. And our team is just cleaning up at this point. Odette knows that Granger actually has gone into our side of the map. So comes in with the ultimate, immediately gets the kill and takes the buff as well. So really well done by our team. As I mentioned, intention is important. Your drafting has to suit your intention. Our team fight is really the focus, and we're going to force our team fight whenever we see fit. And while we had a few setbacks in the early stages, we did manage to claw it back in terms of our advantage, and from then on it was pretty much undeniable. Of course, it was helped, as you will have noticed, in some way by the enemy team because they really focused onto our most tanky champions, such as our roamers, Badang using ultimate on a couple of times onto the Hylos or trying to stun our roamer. So that has not posed the greatest threat to our team. You can see Badang actually trying to go for the Hylos yet again, and once again we are able to look for a successful team fight. Excellent angle by our Irithel, close them off. So as we mentioned, strong team fighting, and with the advantage, force your way through. We don't want to drag this longer than it should be because it's always a possibility the enemy team may find a split push avenue to take this fight in another direction if they do it. So we'll try our best to end it as fast as we can. Turtle is then up as well. We go back into farm. Our team is still posturing very strongly. Lots of damage, and Irithel does still manage to get a kill onto the Granger. And this is just a testament to how strong we are. Badang had charged in as well, but there's nothing much they can really do here at this point. They are just too far behind. They are going to be zoned into their base. We are going to be able to take all their buffs, and we should hopefully be able to take some of the neutral objectives, which is the aim going forward. You can take a look at some of the macro plays by our roamer, the Hylos here, as well as our experienced laner. They are posturing very far ahead, give as much vision as possible and box them in. So that means, from my perspective, I need to go and clear the lanes. I need to go and make sure the waves are pushed so we can go for more. So our team fight starts again. There's amount of damage. Ruby comes in the corner, secures the Badang. We zone out one person and we take it from there. Irithel does manage to take a tower, and that's really our aim. In the top lane, through the minimap, you can see I've set up a very slow push, taking out a few minions only, and our team is going to be able to take the fight without speed anyway. Now as fun, mid inhibitor is going down, we're going to look for opportunity to try and end it off. We are all pretty low on resources a little bit, and enemy team is ulting to do as much as we can to try and survive here. Hylos is going to go down, unfortunately. I'm going to take quite a lot of damage, but we do manage to trade out 3 of the enemy team. That's a pretty decent fight. Of course, the enemy team has a little bit of opportunity here, so we have to be very careful what we're going to do. Ruby is posturing very far ahead. This gives a lot of space to the Irithel to go and take out the Miya. Being godlike and in terms of the amount of level differences means that we just step in and auto the Miya to death. I try and take out the tower because at this point the experienced lane actually has a lot more to do in terms of team fight. I'm going to go down, unfortunately. Enemy team is focusing on the Ruby, but Ruby is going to go down as well, and the amount of damage coming in from the Odette as well as the Irithel is just more than enough to dismantle the whole of the enemy team. So another thing that you notice here is that the enemy team has not been very good in terms of focusing the right targets from our team. They've been landing off damage mostly onto the Hylos and the Ruby, and occasionally on myself. So that has given our glass cannons, so to say, our carries, the opportunity to position well and do as much damage as possible. While we had a very challenging maybe 3 minutes or so at the start, we managed to pull ourselves together and focus on the things that really were the strongest from the beginning, focusing on team fights, looking for opportunities, and also not extending too far until we had the guarantee and waiting for, let's say, important skills to be used by the opponents. Hopefully this really gives you an insight as to how some of the top global players as well as top regional players really play. This is absolutely clinical in terms of a team fighting perspective as well as a 5-stack perspective. And if you apply this strategy, no matter your team composition, whether it's a split push comp, a dive comp, front to back, or just a general team fight heavy, crowd control heavy composition, I'm sure you'll be able to find much success as we enter the last few days of this season. So best of luck to all of you, and this is Chang'e, so signing off. I'll see you guys next time.